What is up? Welcome to Truth and Transparency Tuesday night. Charlie Kirk, I got some timeline questions, especially the timeline with the text messages. If you're going to talk about a timeline, you usually talk about time. Well, that is missing. So let's first listen up. This happened a couple hours ago today. And this was to give an update, the Utah County Attorney press conference on Tyler Robinson arrest. And I thought this was very detailed, except the minus part of no timestamps with the text messages.
The murder of Charlie Kirk is an American tragedy. Charlie Kirk was murdered while engaging in one of our most sacred and cherished American rights, the bedrock of our democratic republic, the free exchange of ideas in a search for truth, understanding, and a more perfect union. It is also an offense against the state and to the peace and enjoyment of the people of Utah and of all those who visit here. But Charlie Kirk's murder also strikes a more personal and intimate chord. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a father to two beautiful young children. He was a son, he was a brother, and a friend. Like all murders, the senseless and needless taking of Charlie Kirk's life has shattered the lives of those he loved and those who loved him. To Charlie's wife, Erica, his two young children, his parents, his family, and his friends, I express my sincere condolences and offer my heartfelt prayers on your behalf. I also want to express my concern for everyone who was at Charlie's Turning Point USA event at the Utah Valley University, and all who have been impacted by this tragedy. As county attorney, I am charged with bringing justice to those who offend our laws. I am charged with bringing justice for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously. Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression. Also, following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, the defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. Turning to the 10-page information, these are the allegations. On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action 30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33...
Okay, right there. The first thing that he says is at 12:23, Charlie was shot. Okay. Then literally the next thing they say is they find the weapon, but what do they leave out? The time that they found the weapon. Why is it important? Well, if you continue to listen, It's important because they also leave out the time of the text messages, and the text exchange talks about Tyler waiting around to try to go get the weapon and things of that nature. So what time did law enforcement secure the weapon? If you're going to start off with saying at 12:23 Charlie was shot, then literally the next part is we recovered the weapon, but there's no time.
3 hours while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action 30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours, police conducted a manhunt for the shooter until the...
Then the third thing is they're going to group in 33 hours worth of activity. So number one, you give an exact time, 12:23. Then number two, you don't even give a time. Then number three, 33 hours. This is a manhunt.
Evening of September 11th, 2025, when Tyler James Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. DNA consistent with Robinson was found on the rifle's trigger. After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle.
Where?
And told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police. Children were present at the time of the shooting. The shooting. Turning Point USA, a nonprofit organization founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk, organized a public outdoor event to be held at noon on September 10th, 2025 at UVU. The event was the first in a series of similar events to be held at college campuses nationwide. Mr. Kirk is a well-known conservative activist, famous for these type of events, where he discusses various political issues and debates with audience members. His events and comments have garnered a significant number of supporters and drawn the ire of many who disagree with his political views. The event at UVU was announced far in advance and garnered significant publicity and interest. Consequently, several hundred people attended. Mr. Kirk was interacting with a crowd before the event officially got underway. Then at approximately noon, Mr. Kirk seated himself under a portable canopy behind a table and microphone. He began speaking to the crowd and fielding questions from attendees, a format Mr. Kirk commonly used at his events. Mr. Kirk allowed his questioners to approach a microphone positioned directly in front of him. Mr. Kirk's team members were very close to him on his right and left, as well as some behind his canopy and others at various close locations near him. The large crowd surrounded Mr. Kirk on three sides. Temporary metal fencing separated attendees from Mr. Kirk by only a matter of feet. Directly above and behind Mr. Kirk was the UVU Hall of Flags, an indoor walkway spanning several hundred feet with floor-to-ceiling glass windows, which overlooked the plaza where Mr. Kirk was seated. People were in the walkway at the time of the shooting. Approximately 15 minutes into the event, Mr. Kirk was answering a question about mass shootings by transgender individuals when a gunshot rang out. The bullet struck Mr. Kirk in the neck. He slumped to the ground almost immediately. The bullet's trajectory passed closely to several other individuals beside Mr. Kirk, including the questioner who was standing directly in front of Mr. Kirk. Children were visible near Mr. Kirk's stage when he was shot. Mr. Kirk was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was declared deceased. The medical examiner's report is still pending. So UVU surveillance. So at the moment of the shot, a UVU police officer was watching the crowd from an elevated vantage point. As soon as he heard the shot, he began to scan the area for threats. Believing the shot came from a rifle because of its sound, he looked for potential sniper positions. He noted a roof area approximately 160 yards away from Mr. Kirk as a potential shooting position and rushed there to look for evidence. The suspected shooting position is adjacent to an open, publicly accessible walkway. To access the suspected location, a person must climb over a railing and then drop to the roof only slightly below. The UV officer climbed over the railing and down onto the roof. He then walked to the suspected shooting position and confirmed a clear shooting corridor between the position and Mr. Kirk's seat. He also noticed markings in the gravel rooftop, consistent with a sniper having lain on the roof, impressions in the gravel potentially left by the elbows, knees, and feet of a person in a prone shooting position. Police reviewed surveillance from the camera covering the roof and discovered that it recorded an individual dressed in dark clothing cross the railing from the public walkway and drop onto the roof at approximately 12:15 p.m.
Have we seen that yet? That portion of it, the 12:15 sighting, has that been released? I have not seen it. The 12:15 portion, I haven't seen that. The great part is that all of this should be on camera. So if Tyler Robinson's on camera, right, then when the officer goes to look at this area, they should be on camera too. And it should be on camera the timestamp that this officer went over and checked out this area, right? One can't be true without the other one to be true. So there's a timestamp for that then. Again, I haven't seen the 12:15 video, and then when the officer that was looking and found this location found everything that he's saying, the evidence of it, there would be surveillance of that. Again, haven't seen that, and no timestamp.
Although the individual moved out of the camera's view for a short time, the camera again captured the individual running across the roof and then low crawling to the area the UBU officer recognized as where the suspected sniper had dropped into a prone shooting position. After a short time, which matches the known time of the shot, the individual arose and ran across the roof to the northeast.
And that's what we've seen.
This discovery led to an intensive review of UBU surveillance recordings to attempt to track and identify the suspect. Surveillance revealed the following. At approximately 11:51 a.m., the suspect entered campus from the north. He is seen wearing a black shirt with an American flag in the center, a dark baseball cap, and large sunglasses. Throughout the surveillance, the suspect keeps his head down and rarely raises his head enough to get a clear image of his face. As he proceeds across the campus, he is seen walking with an unusual gait. The suspect walks with very little bending in his right leg, consistent with a rifle being hidden in his pants. This unusual gait continues until the suspect is seen crossing the railway off the open walkway and onto the roof, where he leaves the camera's view. A camera later captures the suspect as he runs across the roof to the suspected shooting position. Immediately after the shot was fired, a camera captures the suspect running across the roof carrying an item whose shape is consistent with a rifle. The suspect is then seen climbing down from the roof. He appears to drop the item he was carrying as he hits the ground in a controlled fall. He then picks up the item and runs toward the northeast end of campus. Expanded crime scene investigation. Law enforcement officers followed the suspect's escape path to the northeast end of campus, where they believe the suspect left campus and entered a wooded area. In that wooded area, investigators found a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel. The rifle contained one spent round and 3 unspent rounds. This is consistent with the facts officers observed at the time of and immediately after the shootings.
Okay, so let's do our own math. Okay. Everybody tuned in when the shooting happened, and if we go look at our own stuff, at what time they would have found the rifle. Let's see here. I went ahead and did it like this.
No shell casings were found on the roof, suggesting a bolt action rather than an auto-loading weapon, and only a single round was fired. Each round in the rifle contained an etched inscription as follows. The fired cartridge was etched, "No Tices bulge, OWO, what's this?" The second cartridge that was again not spent, the last three were not spent, were not fired. The second, "Hey fascist, catch," with arrow symbols. The third cartridge, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." The fourth cartridge, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." The rifle, ammunition rounds, and towel were sent for forensic processing. DNA consistent with defendant was found on the trigger, other parts of the rifle, the fired cartridge casing, 2 of the 3 unfired cartridges, and the towel. Law enforcement was unable to immediately locate the shooter, so they published photos of the shooter from the UVU surveillance cameras and asked for the public's help to identify him. Meanwhile, law enforcement continued to try to identify the shooter through other means.
Okay, so something that's missing there, and if you ask me, is to say that nobody else's DNA was found on it. So he's just saying that that Robinson's DNA was found on those items. He does not say that the only DNA that is found on those items is him. So you can go ahead and put that down for, I would think that if you're loading, why does one of the bullets not have his DNA on it? So he tells us that his DNA is on those items, but is there other people's DNA on those items? Because it does not say that other people's DNA was not on those items,
The Washington County investigation. On the evening of September 11th, 2025, as law enforcement continued their investigation, Tyler James Robinson went to the Washington County Sheriff's Office with his parents and a family friend to turn himself in. Robinson's mother stated that the following to police. On September 11th, 2025, the day after the shooting, Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son.
Okay. The day after. Okay. The day after.
Robinson's mother called her son and asked him where he was. He said he was at home sick and that he had also been at home homesick on September 10th. Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspect shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed. Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political.
So it wasn't on the 10th that they thought. It was on the 11th when they saw the picture be released, right? So, and then the mom calls. He says he's been sick. She doesn't have a good feeling about it. She talks to her husband. He doesn't have a good feeling about it and says, yeah, that looks like it's our kid. Right?
And had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views.
Okay, so over the past year, she's saying that, hey, over the past year, he's been dating this person. He's been more pro-gay and blah, blah, blah. So I'm curious if that's the first gay person that he's ever dated. Did they even know that their son was gay?
One conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed that it looked like their son. He also believed that the rifle that police suspected the shooter used matched a rifle that was given to his son as a gift. As a result, Robinson's father contacted his son and asked him to send a photo of the rifle.
Okay, now when we get into the fact of the back and forth text messages, okay, that's where the question now makes the timeline not accurate or questionable, or like this seems off. And it's because of when the dad would be calling his son, and then Robinson telling his lover, hey, my dad's calling right now and he's going to want to know where like this gun is, and he wants a picture of it, and all that stuff, which we're about to get into. And that doesn't make sense with the timeline, because the dad doesn't do any of this until September 11th, not on September 10th.
Robinson did not respond. However, Robinson's father spoke on the phone with Robinson. Robinson implied that he planned to take his own life. Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate. They talked about Robinson turning himself in and convinced Robinson to speak with a family friend who is a retired deputy sheriff. At Robinson's father's request, the family friend met with Robinson and his parents and convinced Robinson to turn himself in.
Okay, now my question is how did the car get where it got? Okay, if my kid tells me that they're suicidal, I'm not having my kid drive, right? I'm going to go to my kid. All the pictures from the house, where the family's house was like swarmed, the chargers at the family's house. I'm just curious on how it got there. Nobody talks about that part of it either.
The family friend spoke to police and reported telling Robinson that it would be best if he brought all evidence with him to the sheriff's office to avoid police having to search his parents' home. The friend also asked Robinson if he had any clothes that were related to what he did. Robinson replied that he had disposed of the clothes in different areas. The roommate. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting, and he did provide those messages to police.
No timeline.
On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
Right there. You're crossing up present versus past future tenses. That is not how you would write. You would not write like that. You would not write a note like that. Why are you writing a note in present tense and past tense or future tense? If you're reading this, it should say, if you're reading this right now, it's because I told you to go and look underneath my desk and blah, blah, blah. Then you would be saying what you did. Everybody understand that? I'll replay this part.
Look under my keyboard. The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note.
Police found a photograph of the note, not the note.
The following text exchange, then took place.
Okay, then now he's saying then the following text exchange then took place. Okay, so again, you would not be saying because if he's telling him to look and read that, he's already done it. So why would his letter say, "I'm going to do something"? So he is then saying, this prosecutor, who I actually like, minus the timeline, like actual time, he's saying that after he told him to go do that, this is then this is the dialogue after he tells him to do that, because the boyfriend comes back, Lance, and comes back and says, "What?" with all the question marks, right?
After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson, "I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." Roommate, "You weren't the one who did it, right?" Robinson, I am. I'm sorry." Roommate, "I thought they caught the person." Robinson, "No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point."
Okay. Right there. If he knows, or he's texting and saying what you just said there, he got some crazy old guy, we'd have to go back and pinpoint down what's the earliest timestamp that they were showing that guy being, the bald guy with pants dropping down. What's the first timestamp of that to get out to the world? That's the earliest that text message could have been sent. Then the next person that they say that they detained, how did he know that they detained somebody that had the same type of clothing that he had? I've never even seen the second person that they detained. Have any of you guys? Please tell me a timestamp where I can find, and whoever has it recorded, where you can find the second person that was detained and showing what they look like and what they're wearing. So therefore, I've been looking all over. I can't find it. Okay, so we all know there was a second person. There was a second person. That's not what I'm saying. He is saying that the second person was detained because of the clothing that he was wearing. It matched his. And think about that. So he's sitting in his car somewhere on YouTube or on some type of platform in his car with his phone, okay? And just looking and sitting there, deciding to not go get his rifle right away and texts the boyfriend that he's sitting there waiting to get it. Then you're going to do this all through text messages. I don't think this is a conspiracy. What the fuck is wrong with you, Kim? Have I even said that word? Why do you say that word? Get the fuck out of here, Kim. Bye, Kim. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm saying, why wouldn't you come out and you say the first thing that you say at 12:23, Charlie shot. Then nothing else after that gets a timestamp. Why? Why wouldn't you have these timestamps? Why aren't you just reading them? That's the question. There's no conspiracy. It's just the question and why you can't read it. And then go watch Candace Owens and watch her drop some motherfucking bombs from what she said, who is a personal friend of Charlie. And she said, "Fuck this. I'm not standing for it. And I'm going to speak out." Oh, but I guess what? Candace is a fucking conspiracy theorist too, right? We're allowed to ask questions. That's what America, you can ask questions.
Shortly after, but most of that side
And when you don't, you the fool.
of town got locked down.
Not the people asking questions.
It's quiet, almost enough to get.
Because once you get the answer, it's what you do after you get that answer. That's what would turn you into a conspiracy theorist. If something makes sense, boom, move on. But for whatever reason, they couldn't give out these timestamps.
It out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over.
Don't you think it's weird that the roommate doesn't say, "Where are you? Where are you right now?" You're telling me the two lovers, how long did he have to drive to get there? I'm going to tell you something about gay relationships. Okay. Motherfucker, you probably have like Life 360 on your person. Okay. Gay people date for like a week and they buy a U-Haul and they move in together. All right. They are like attached at the hip. And so let me get this straight. Tyler Robinson gets into a vehicle and leaves his boyfriend and says, what? I'm leaving to go do what? Hey, hon, I'll be back. I got to go to work like I normally do, but then I just don't go to work. Or where did the boyfriend think he was going? These are my logical questions. Okay. Logic. So here the boyfriend's just sitting at home. Hey, go look underneath my keyboard because the boyfriend doesn't fucking work. They just game all day. I don't know, right? So wouldn't the boyfriend be like, hon, I can't go look under your keyboard right now. Like I'm working, or I don't know, I'm not at home. Just hops to it and poof. Oh my God, what? Like timestamp it. Just timestamp it, man. Okay. Then you're going to sit here and tell me that after somebody writes you this stuff, you're the gay lover and you don't pick up the phone and say, and call him, say, oh my God, what the hell are you talking about? How about a straight person? If your husband tells you that he does something like that, what is the wife going to do? No, you're going to pick up the phone and call? Like, wait, what? And a text, how long have you been planning this? You watch my every fucking move. We're gay. We live together. Okay. I'm telling you right now. Okay. Gay people are in and out of relationships faster than you go through fucking cereal. It's just facts.
A week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it.
Now that part of the text message is just, it's all in one flowing text here.
Hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on.
It means he's already attempted once to retrieve it. So this kid's just driving around in circles because I thought that he didn't think that they got to it. So he didn't even try yet. But now he's saying he's going to attempt to go do it again. But he told the boyfriend that he hadn't done that yet. That he's just waiting. Waiting for what? Uh-huh.
I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate. How long have you been planning this? Robinson. A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked.
Wouldn't you be saying things like, what the fuck are you talking about? If the boyfriend should be not even knowing what the hell he's even talking about. What are you talking about? The rifle and it's in some, did you have to go pick up? What are you speaking of? How he is able to just have a Romeo and Juliet conversation. Like he knows what he's talking about. I'd been like, what are you talking about? Or how about this? Where is the text messages between the boyfriends, either one of them saying, holy shit, did you just see Charlie Kirk was shot?
Right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it.
I think they already. So this guy is literally lurking, meaning Robinson is like, this is what cops are taught to look for, by the way, is to look for people that are staying in the area and watching and lurking around like they're watching the cops. And that's what he's doing. Meanwhile, he tells his boyfriend that if they if they detained somebody that looked like him and was wearing an outfit that looked like him, then don't you think that they have like cameras, right, for you to even say that? Because if they're not detaining the second person that you're saying that was wearing the same outfit as you, that means that they would have surveillance cameras, right? And they've already looked at them to be detaining somebody that looked like you or wearing the same outfit as you, right? Like, hello.
Robinson again. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDEK if it's had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was.
The only thing I left, no bullets. Okay, guys, who writes all of this? Wouldn't you just say this on the phone? Come on, man. 4.0 kid. It's all secretive to leave the envelope underneath the desk, right? So secretive, right? And then to call and say, or to text and say, go look under my desk, right? Then the boyfriend says, what? And then you think, hey, guess what? I'm going to just text all of this versus just have a conversation on the phone. And then this just goes all the way back to the beginning of what I said when this happened. I said, I want to know if this person thought before they did it to say, hey, I'm doing this and trying to get away with it, or I don't care if I get caught.
Engraving bullets. The F in messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from today, the F in message rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The F in messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks.
Why would that all be written in a sentence like that? Really compelling stuff here is the fact that he's texting exactly what's on the bullets, right? It's like this conversation is pinning him to this, like, here's the proof, right? Here you go. Here's the proof. I'm not shocked that he's putting this out there. I'm shocked that he's putting this out there with no timestamps of the conversation. Because if you're going to go do and put out this, why aren't you just putting the timestamps? Everybody knows that the timestamps are on the phones. What time did this text go out? What time did this text go out? What time is this back and forth? Why would you read this and not put out the timestamps? That's like putting out Dylan and Bethany's text message exchange and not putting out the timestamps. They didn't do that. They put the timestamps out.
Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. IDK.
Judging from today, Grandpa's gun does just fine. IDK. I don't know.
I think that was a $2K scope. I think that was a $2K scope.
A $2,000 scope. He thinks that he had a $2,000 scope.
Remember how I was engraving bullets? The F in messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox knew I might have a stroke, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from
He's talking about I'm really gonna have to leave it, meaning the the gun, and why anybody would just run on sentences like this.
today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. IDK. I think that was a $2K scope. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink would be important. Wink, wink is a like inside joke. Wink, wink, like you know what I'm talking about. The $2,000 scope is something that kid knows about. Wink, wink. Did you guys know that Robinson and Lance, they live together in that apartment or condo rather that's owned by actually Lance's family, and they rent from him. Like Robinson and Lance rent from Lance's family. Okay. And Lance's family, they're over here calling bullshit because they're saying the person that's the horrible kid is our kid. Lance is the horrible kid. Lance is the one that we had to kick out of the house at 17 years old and sent him off with family. And he's doing wild shit. Lance's family allegedly supposedly reached out to Candace's team. Candace.
Robinson again. Delete this exchange. Again, Robinson. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me, RN, not answering.
Okay, he's calling me right now. Okay, so here's where I said, ready for this? If the dad's calling right now, that would be actually the next day. Okay, so where did he spend the night on September 10th? Not at home? Dude, if you're driving back home and you're there with your lover, right? Why on September 11th, the next day, are you texting your lover, play by playing it with what your dad is doing if you guys are together in the same place? And let's even say that you're not together in the same place. That's even more of a fucked up thing. Why are you play by playing when your dad is calling you on the phone to text and say he's calling right now? And then if you would have been back with your lover the night of September 10th, you're not going to sit here and tell me there wouldn't have been a conversation that would have been had to say, like from Lance, what the fuck did you bring me into? Like, what the hell are we going to do? Like, Lance, knowing this on September 10th, right, did nothing. Right? This has to be the stupidest, like, shit I think I've ever heard. Because why not just, like, go right to the police department? Or like he said, he wanted to, like, kill himself. It doesn't sound like he wanted to kill himself by the way he's talking with his, like, lover.
Robinson. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson.
Why would he have to say that? We've been dating somebody for a year. Doesn't he know that your dad's diehard MAGA? If you're dating somebody for a year, you don't talk at all with your partner. He would know that. He doesn't have to say that in a text. What do people? You guys don't know each other? You guys haven't even met? Dude, what? This is to rile up the sides, man. This is to rile up and say, so people are blaming what side is responsible for this shooting. And that's ridiculous. A human being shot another human being, and it's not okay. Okay? Period.
I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent.
I don't think any of that's obstructing justice, though.
The search for Robinson.
That part right there. Giving advice to get a lawyer. I don't know how that's obstruction of justice.
Residence.
He's letting him know his rights, I guess. I mean, I think that that's going to go away.
Police executed a search warrant on Robinson's residence. During that search, police discovered a...
Again, what time? See, like, none of these have timestamps. The only timestamp they want to tell us is at 11:51. We have him on a camera. At 12:15, we have him on a camera. And at 12:23, Charlie was shot.
Shell casing with etchings like the etchings found on the shells in the rifle near UVU. Police also found several target boards with bullet holes in Robinson's home.
What? Okay, hold on.
Now, as I stated
where
in
is
the beginning, when I read the search warrant on Robinson's residence, during that search, police discovered a shell casing with etchings like the etchings found on the shells in the rifle near UVU. Police also found several target boards with bullet holes in Robinson's home.
Okay, so the target boards had the holes in them, not the walls had the holes in them. Okay.
Now, as I stated in the beginning, when I read those allegations, these are allegations. And like the evidence set forth in this statement.
This is why I like this guy right here. He'd get my vote. Right here, this was amazing to see as a constitutionalist that I am. This is what we did not see in the Idaho 4 case. This is what we did not see in the Sheldon Jr. case. This is what we don't see in cases that I cover. We don't hear what this man is about to say.
Those allegations, what you've heard from the media, even from state and federal officials, has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial. I understand the public's desire to know the facts. My own family members have pressed me for information. Why are we reluctant to share the details of the investigation itself and comment on the case? Because I want to ensure a fair and impartial trial. I became a prosecutor because of my love for the ideals of this great country and the principles embedded in our Constitution. The free exchange of ideas and opinions is critical to this great American experiment, but so too are the protections afforded to the accused found in the 5th and 6th Amendments. The right against self-incrimination, the right to a speedy and public trial, the right to the effective assistance of counsel, the right to confront one's accusers, and the right to compel the attendance of witnesses. And perhaps most importantly, under our Constitution, the accused is presumed innocent until we, the state, prove to an impartial jury of defendant's peers his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That jury cannot rely on our allegations, on what they hear in the news, or on what they hear from a public official. The jury is the sole trier of fact, and they will ultimately determine those facts based on evidence a trial judge has determined is admissible. Again, as prosecutors, we bear the burden to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But make no mistake, we welcome this burden. I'd like to now introduce my trial team who will be charged with prosecuting the case. This is a veteran and expert team of some of the state's best trial attorneys. Chad Grunander, who is one of my 2 chief deputies, Ryan McBride, and David Sturgill on the far right there. And those 2 were very much involved in preparing search warrants, did a phenomenal job, worked day and night to see that accomplished well after Robinson was taken into custody. Also, Lauren Hunt, she is one of our special victims prosecutors, and Chris Ballard, my 2nd chief deputy, who will be handling motions. I'm going to explain just the procedural steps. We're not
I thought this was awesome. Like this portion of everything here, procedurally, I thought this was a class right here. Just done very, very well.
grand jury. We don't have a grand jury system like the federal courts do. It's a preliminary hearing system. So the arrest and filing of the criminal information are merely the first steps in the criminal justice process. Today at 3 p.m., the defendant will appear before a judge in the Utah 4th District Court for his first appearance to be informed of these charges and to ensure that he has an attorney to represent him. The hearing will be brief. The judge will conduct that first appearance virtually via WebEx. This is not unusual. In the 4th District, all felony first appearances for defendants who are in custody are held virtually.
Yep, and his second one, it will be held virtually as well.
A link to that hearing is available for media on the Utah State Courts X account at Utah State Courts. Now, following defendant's first appearance, he will be entitled to a preliminary hearing. At that hearing, the state will be required to show probable cause that defendant committed the crimes. The purpose of the preliminary hearing is not to determine guilt, but simply to assure the court that the prosecution has enough evidence to proceed to trial. If a judge finds probable cause and binds the case over for trial, an arraignment hearing will be held. At that hearing, a judge will again inform defendant of the charges against him and require him to enter a plea to each charge. The next step following the arraignment is an opportunity for the parties to file any relevant motions and then ultimately the trial itself.
Okay, so something that I think is interesting now that we know he was seen today. They said that he has not been cooperating, right? And so my guess is that he would have said, I want an attorney, right? I have nothing to say. I would like an attorney. But he has not been provided an attorney yet. Once they went ahead and they said they were going to go for the death penalty, they only have 5 days to get discovery to his defense. Listen to this.
Case has generated a tremendous amount of interest across our nation and even the world. The public's desire for information is understandable, but it bears reiterating that this case will be tried in a court of law consistent with our Constitution, not the court of public opinion. Thus, we will only discuss the case with the press occasionally. It will not be a day-to-day or even week-to-week occurrence, but we will only do so in a manner as not to jeopardize the fair trial process. Before I conclude, I want to express my appreciation for the tireless work of our local, state, and federal law enforcement officers. They have an extremely difficult, dangerous, and often thankless job. I'm proud to acknowledge the exceptional work they do every day, and particularly their work on this case. It was truly a marvel to witness. Their skilled work and dedication have brought us to this point. I'm also grateful for the leadership demonstrated by Bo Mason, the Commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety, FBI Special Agent in Charge Rob Bowles, Utah County Sheriff Mike Smith.
What a last name to have. Balls, bitch. Come at me. I got some balls.
Our local police chiefs, and Felice John Vitti, the acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Utah. I'm also grateful for the support of our Governor, Spencer Cox, and our Attorney General, Derek Brown, who is standing behind me today and has offered his support and resources as we proceed to trial. Finally, I want to thank our Utah County Commissioners, Amelia Powers Gardner, Brandon Gordon, and Skylar Beltran. They too have pledged to assist with the resources needed to successfully prosecute this case.
Okay, so I have a question. if you're going to text all of that shit and you're going to tell your boyfriend, I'm going to turn myself in and all of these things, right? Who would text all of that stuff? And then when you actually go to turn yourself in, that you get there and you say, I'm not cooperating. I want a lawyer and I have nothing to say to anybody. Because you can cooperate through an attorney. You can ask for an attorney and you can say, hey, can I please have an attorney? And then I'll talk to you guys once I have an attorney. So help me understand that. I'm going to turn myself in. I turn myself in. My family, I turn myself in. I don't know what he brought, like the deputy friend told him to do, but then I get there and I don't help. I don't do anything. You know,
Base. I will now take a few questions.
For questions, ladies and gentlemen, just really fast, if you could identify yourself and what we're
Residents from CBS News.
Okay.
Did your investigation uncover any individuals that may have known about this shooting in advance?
They are still looking into it. It's an undergoing investigation.
So is that a possibility?
They haven't ruled that out.
great question. So they have not ruled it out that people could have known about this beforehand. If there was only 20 people in that Discord chat, whatever, what are those people not cooperating either?
Ed Lavendera with CNN, the text message that the exchange with the roommate, can you kind of give us a sense of, did that happen over several hours? Did that happen before?
I don't have that information.
What? I couldn't believe when I heard that answer. I don't have that information. So somebody just provided you with that worksheet, you know, here, read this. And he just says, okay. Here, read this.
I know acknowledging you made this decision to definitely independently. Did you read also the Trump administration or Governor Fox's administration as you were working on this?
I talked to officials from both administrations, but I was not pressured to make a decision. I understood their feelings on it because it was in the news, but we didn't really discuss that.
Any indication that transgender issues played a role in the motivations for this shooting?
I'm going to stick to what I just stated in my public, in our information. I think that is pretty much set forth there.
That's right. I'm Winslow, Fox 13 News. Just asking, are you planning to file additional charges against anyone else in connection with this?
Again, we don't have any information at this point of additional suspects, but I know that our law enforcement agencies are continuing to follow leads.
Mr. Brady, the director today said that you were told that other people, a number of people, are being investigated and interrogated. So it seems that there are people who might be possible.
Yeah, I'm not.
Was it lone wolf, or could this be part of?
I can't comment on that. I'm not aware of all their investigation. I just know that these agencies are continuing to investigate this case and follow all leads. That's up to the feds. They have different charges and they're reviewing the evidence. And after they
So if he was like stalking Charlie. And so if he's writing that I only started planning this a week ago.
Review the evidence and the law, they could file charges, but I'm not privy to exactly what they're looking at.
Dennis, have we with the BBC, you spoke a lot about text messages with the roommate. The governor previously said the roommate is cooperating. Could we see charges against the roommate?
Again, I'm not prepared to answer that question. It's part of our code, and so we charge that.
How come nobody's asking, where did Tyler Robinson spend the night on September 10th?
Is this a confession? The text messages, is that legally a confession? And is he cooperating since he's been taken into custody?
Ultimately, a judge will determine that at trial.
And cooperation, has he spoken at all? Has he been cooperating?
Again, I'm not going to comment on that. Okay.
What more can you tell us about the suspect's time online that some say radicalized him?
I am not aware of that information.
Mhm.
It's, again, still under investigation.
And has he expressed any remorse so far about this?
I am not going to comment on that.
Is he continuing to not cooperate?
I am not going to comment on that.
Mr. Brady, the FBI director has been way out of front in terms of presenting evidence to the public. Your team has been very circumspect, very measured in what they laid out. Is that hampered your investigation and go back through this?
Well, as attorneys, we typically like to control that information to preserve an impartial jury and a fair trial.
So has been a bunch of years.
Ex- Excuse me? I don't have that information.
Can you tell us more about?
You don't know if he has a lawyer yet.
What the family said is what I provided.
Mr. Kirk, you anticipate that the defense will try to get this trial moved out of Utah County, and how will you respond to that?
That from where?
From Utah County,
That the defense will be from Utah County?
that they will try to get the trial moved.
I couldn't predict what they're going to do.
You said any of this just the timing of the shot and the question that was asked about mass shooting transgender, is that more than coincidence?
That will be for a jury to decide.
Mr. Brady, you're confident that the roommate had no part of this attack whatsoever,
Again, I'm not going to comment on the evidence.
but the evidence so far, does it show any involvement?
Again, I'm not going to comment on
Question.
other than the facts that or the evidence that we've gathered so far. I don't believe so. This is part of a public document that we have to file as we file a criminal information. We have to file a probable cause statement. That's a public document, and so we're comfortable with that.
Are his parents and the roommate still cooperating?
I'm not going to comment on that either.
The FBI has said that the suspect had a hatred of Kirk. What else can you share about that?
I can't share any more than what I've already said.
This was
I-
an incredibly precise shot. Do you have any evidence that he went places to practice or have practiced before shooting that he decided how he did?
The evidence that I'm willing to share is what I just read in our statement, and it's in the
Gentlemen, I'm afraid
information.
we're going to have to
Yeah, thank you. I mean, he keeps saying the same thing. Like, so my takeaway from that is as follows. You'd want to know where Tyler spent September 10th evening. Okay. If he spent that night at his apartment with his boyfriend, fuck all the text messages on September 11th. That's all I have to say. That would never occur. No fucking way. But they clearly did occur. And why? Why would they occur? Why did the ones even occur on September 10th? I mean, woo. Okay, now, the second part here. So, we have to talk about the shot, and it's, in my opinion, when Charlie's shirt goes up like this, we've been talking about it. When Charlie's shirt goes up like this, okay, for his shirt to move like that and pinch and go up, is extremely interesting to me. Because was he wearing a piece that Tyler actually, when he shot him, he aimed more for to hit a bigger portion of Charlie, right? And it hit the edge of his armor plate, okay? And that it then went and hit his neck based on there being no exit wound. Entry, exit. Me and Bella were going over stuff last night, like over and over and over. And I think it did. Now. Whew. God, can you imagine? So if you're walking with the gun when you're leaving, where did you park that you felt, I'm going to not bring the gun with me to just leave out, with the gun. Okay. And instead I'm going to drop the gun in a wooded area and go back for it. That would mean that your car would be where'd you park? That you would think that because you definitely walked with it. It's not like you didn't walk anywhere with it. Where did you park that you felt that it was like, I have to get rid of this gun right now, but I'm going to come back and get it? Why wouldn't you just... The only thing I could think of is that you thought that you were going to get pulled over in the vehicle and you didn't want to have the gun on you when you got pulled over, which I think doesn't make sense, because he was saying that he was eventually going to go back and get it, right? So then he would have been in the car with the gun when he would have left at that point. What? Pretty wild stuff. Like,
world's deadliest assassin. How did he manage to escape, and how was he ultimately turned in by a close family friend in original 3D animations made from scratch? This is an exact mapping of everything that happened, simplified for better understanding. Here is Lake Utah, and just beyond it lies the West Campus. This is the Utah Valley campus. Charlie Kirk was shot in this area. To get the full picture, we need to look at how the suspect entered the building and how he escaped the scene. The suspect entered the building around 11:52 a.m. local time, moving through stairwells and across the roof to reach his sniper position. Surveillance footage confirmed his entry on campus and his deliberate, unobstructed route inside the building. There is no public evidence or description suggesting he used a ladder to access the roof. Reports indicate he used interior stairwells and walkways instead of external ladders. The shooter was positioned less than 150 yards from Kirk, a distance well within the capability of a basic marksman. At around 12:22 to 12:23 p.m., the assassination occurred suddenly when a sharp gunshot rang out across the university courtyard. While speaking to the crowd, Charlie Kirk was struck in the neck. Blood quickly appeared as he instinctively clutched his wound and collapsed from his chair. Investigations confirmed the bullet was fired from roughly 200 yards away. Given the elevation of the shooter's position, he had a clear and unobstructed line of sight to the stage where Kirk was addressing the audience. The bullet's trajectory descended steeply and precisely through open space to strike Kirk in the neck, strongly indicating the use of a scoped firearm designed for long-range accuracy. After the shot, the shooter moved carefully from the sniper position to the edge of the building. There was incorrect information that he descended by ladder, but in reality he dropped down from the ledge. In doing so, he left behind palm and shoe prints, which were crucial for forensic analysis. Though some describe it as a significant vertical descent due to the sloped embankment, he used his hands to grip the ledge and lowered himself as far as possible before dropping to the ground. The bolt-action rifle, identified as an older Mauser model, was still with him as he made his descent. Observers noted that he appeared practiced and did not discard the weapon at this stage, likely holding it in one hand or slinging it as he moved. After landing, he briefly limped, possibly from the impact, but quickly regained his composure and fled on foot into a wooded area adjacent to the university. Notably, palm prints and shoe prints left at the landing spot were documented by forensic investigators and proved vital to the case. He walked all the way to this location, blending seamlessly into the crowd. The suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting had a brief encounter with an excavator operator near a construction site behind Utah Valley University's Losey building. According to construction workers present shortly after the shooting, the suspect approached the construction area and asked the excavator operator if he could pass through. The operator informed him that pedestrians were not allowed on the site and stopped him there. The suspect reportedly responded calmly, saying he was trying to get home safely following the incident. This interaction took place before police and emergency responders arrived at the scene. The construction site, located near the wooded area where the sniper rifle was later recovered, was part of the suspect's escape route after he jumped off the rooftop and fled from the campus. Within the next few seconds, he ran across a grassy section and headed into the nearby wooded area, rifle still in hand, until he was beyond the immediate campus property. The rifle was ultimately found wrapped in a towel in the woods along the suspect's escape path, indicating he discarded it shortly after leaving campus grounds. But how was he caught? It all came down to digital forensics teams analyzing thousands of security camera frames.
Okay. See, that's where it just doesn't make sense to me as to why would he leave. I just like this animation because it kind of shows like, why are you ditching the gun?
Escape path, indicating he discarded it shortly after leaving.
Don't you think it's interesting that they don't talk about where his car was parked? Do you think it's interesting about that?
Campus grounds. But how was he caught? It all came down to digital forensics teams analyzing thousands of security camera frames, matching Tyler Robinson's appearance, vehicle, and movements both on campus and off-site. He also left behind many digital footprints. When law enforcement released campus surveillance footage and still images of the suspect.
So check this out. They're able to walk it back because if they say that they have Matt, remember they said that they have his car coming on campus at like 8:39 a.m. Okay. So like where did he park at 8:39 a.m.? They were able to get it all the way back to that location. And I believe it was because of phones, but 8:39, his Chrysler, right? Well, where the fuck was this car? And why were you planning on going and picking it back up? The gun.
His clothing and the escape vehicle to the public. This led to over 7,000 tips flooding hotlines and social media platforms. Additionally, messages between Robinson and his roommate recovered through the messaging app revealed plans about disposing of the weapon, its location, and unique engravings on the bullet. One casing read, "Hate fascist. Catch." A clear, direct political message targeting Kirk's conservative stance. But the key reason he was caught was because his own father made the difficult decision to sacrifice his own son and turn him into the police. It was released that Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old suspected shooter of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, was captured after an intense manhunt lasting about 33 hours following the shooting at Utah Valley University. The critical breakthrough came when Tyler Robinson's father, Matt Robinson, recognized his son in the photographs released by the FBI.
Actually, it was the mom.
Matt immediately reached out to Tyler and urged him to surrender peacefully. At first, Tyler refused and even threatened to harm himself rather than go to the authorities. Seeing this, Matt contacted a family friend, a youth pastor who also serves as a U.S. Marshals officer. With their support, Matt was able to convince Tyler to stay put and cooperate with law enforcement. Now let's go to the arrest details. On the afternoon of September 11, 2025, authorities orchestrated Robinson's peaceful surrender at a residence in Washington County, Utah, roughly 33 hours after the shooting. Robinson offered no resistance during his arrest. On September 12, 2025, Robinson was booked into Utah County Jail charged with aggravated murder, felony use of a firearm, and obstruction of justice. But hats off to father, where even law enforcement officials and public leaders publicly credited the family's intervention for enabling an orderly.
Look at what AI does, man. AI is just crazy. I could just watch this forever. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Boy. What the fuck? So you love somebody, they're transitioning, and all of a sudden you decide, I'm going to go shoot Charlie. Awesome. Awful. Absolutely awful. Now, Candace went completely off. And
gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. The roommate replies, evidence, but rather that there's no way he could have acted alone, that this had to be a part of some wider plot, okay? And when I'm speaking to people that are close to the situation, what they are shocked about is the fact that only Tyler could have been arrested, because it's a different perspective when it comes to Tyler's trans boyfriend, okay? Tyler's trans boyfriend's name is Lance Twiggs. And they are very shocked. In fact, the people that are intimately involved in the situation are saying, we thought he was definitely going to get charged because apparently, and again, I'm going to say this allegedly, he had been arrested or taken in on the same day. Now, the media narrative is that that guy was being really cooperative. He had nothing to do with anything. Okay, we're going to go through that. And again, I'm going to tell you what his family is saying. I'm referring now to Lance Twiggs. Let's get to what the indictment tells us about him. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with.
I can't believe we have to write that. A biological male. Why are we writing that in a goddamn fucking... Why does that matter? Why are we writing that? Why are we... Thank you so much, Carson. Love your face. Angel, heart. Woo! Thank you so much. Oh, gosh. Is it Tanya? Welcome. Angel turned 5 people green. Oh, what's up, Jenny? What's up, my girl? Jenny, she turned 5 people green. Oh, Angel, giving some sticker love. I cannot believe that needs to be in an indictment.
Robinson. The roommate told police that he had received messages from Tyler Robinson about the shooting, and he provided those messages to police. And then it goes on, describing those messages. On September 10th, 2025. Oh, wait, they're not telling us the time. I don't like that. I hope that's just you forgot, but I need to know exactly when you're saying these messages were sent, okay? Because I need to fit them into my timeline, okay? Clearly, on the basis of what I'm about to read, these messages had to have gone out after Charlie Kirk was shot, if I'm using my context clues, my Blues clues to put things together. But they're not clear here. They just say on September 10th, 2025, no time given. The roommate received a text message from Robinson, which said, quote, drop what you are doing and look under my keyboard. The roommate, Lance, then looks under his keyboard and he finds a note that states, quote, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. The structure of that is weird. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. Okay. That's just structurally, that's not proper English, okay? Either I have, okay, or I had, past tense. Again, not clear. Police found a photograph of this note and the following text exchange then took place. After reading that note, the roommate texts Tyler and he says, what? You're joking, right?
Okay, so I cannot believe that he's saying, I don't have that information. I don't know the times of this. This is like literally in... indicting him. The probable cause, like, what? You guys, why wouldn't the times be in here? That's fucking crazy. Because they are saying that the probable cause part, we don't need to give the times, but then wouldn't it be misleading if it would show any other thing? Right? I'm telling you, the times are going to be wild if it even gets to that point. If it even gets to that point. But if it was just so simple, guys, the times would be there. But they're keeping the times held back. And
Robinson writes, I'm still okay, my love, but I am stuck in a REM for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep the secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. The roommate replies, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson replies, I am. I'm sorry. The roommate
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That doesn't sound like it would be the response of somebody who goes and shoots a man for his political views, right? You would be what, boasting about that? I'm sorry. Why would you think that your boyfriend or lover, whatever, would be upset that you shot Charlie? And then who goes out and does stuff if it's going to upset their lover? I'm just saying the psyche of all of this is just absolutely fucking it's a mind fuck. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's me, and I'm sorry.
replies, I thought they caught the person. Robinson replies, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude that interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop.
Okay, right there, that tells me that this had to have been hours later. This isn't like a conversation that happened at like 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2, 3. Like, you'd have to get all the way past the point with the man with the crazy, and then the other guy when they detained him. So go back and actually we have to look and see like boop what time that second person was detained and when it was made public. Because this is all happening after that. Right? Hello.
A point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to.
How would he know that most of that side got locked down? What the fuck? Does he have like a radar scanner? What does he have? What? What side of town are you on and you're not locked down? Come again? You guys, how would he know any of that? Unless this was written so much longer later and all of this, so he physically could have saw this and he's just walking around the area, checking it out in his car.
Get out, but there's one vehicle still lingering. The roommate says, why? Robinson says, why did I do it? Roommate says, yeah. Robinson says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. The roommate says, how long have you been planning this? Robinson says, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, referring to the rifle, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson says, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hopefully they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. What? You're worried about explaining losing the rifle to your father, not worried that you left the rifle and therefore it's obviously going to be found out. Like the only thing that you left was the murder weapon. This is weird. This chain is weird to me. It's weird to me that we don't know what time. I don't know what he means. Where is he stuck here, guys? Do you have a clue here? I'm stuck in a REM for a little while longer. It shouldn't be long until I can come home. Is that a typo? I should have asked you guys. Okay, that's the town. Okay, that's the town. I'm stuck here for a little while longer. It shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. So is this happening during lockdown? He tells him to check under and to see. Oh, check under quickly and see.
Oh wow, this is just God. I feel like I'm watching Lana for someone to say like, wow, this doesn't seem like a normal thread. Cherry picking messages. I don't know. What are the times of this? You know, why would anybody have a text string like this if they are trying to get away with something? This is not what you would do. For a 4.0 student, I mean, but then again, I'm starting to believe that 4.0 students have no fucking common sense, none what the fucksoever.
And I took care of it, and he's where? And now he's giving him an accounting of exactly what's taken place, which means if this is right after and they're still in lockdown, he's monitoring the situation. Because this is going to give us a timeline, whether they tell us when these messages happened or not. The fact that he already knows that they grabbed some crazy old dude and that they also interrogated someone in similar clothing, we're going to be able to go back and plot exactly when that happened, or at least when the public was informed. Because this whole correspondence is very strange to me. It's very strange to me. He then is even more explicit, talk about trying to cover your tracks, but then explicitly texting everything to your lover.
Yeah.
He says, the only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a meme. If I see notices bulge on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Okay, so if this is our guy, oh, we're not done, let's finish. That really sucks, he's got to leave it. And then he says, judging from today, I'd say grandpa's gun does just fine. I think that was a $2,000 scope. And then he does a winky face. And then he tells him, delete this exchange. And then Robinson says, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says, grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. So his dad's calling him. Okay, well, the dad, this is interesting. When is this text chain taking place? Okay, because we just heard that, the dad, they figured it out the next day. They're making it sound like this all happened back to back. Is this happening over 2 days?
Yep.
Why not tell us this instantly so I can work it into my timeline?
Oh,
okay. Are these
because we are not allowed to have a timeline, Candace. For us to just believe that this all happened on the 10th, you'd be one dumb motherfucker if you think that this all happened on the 10th, because it did not. Because the parents did not know about this, did not see a picture or anything and say, hey, that's our son. That happened on the 11th, not on the 10th. Unbelievable.
Messages day one. And then what? They had no correspondence at all until he jumps right back in and says, my dad's calling me. Where were you when your dad called you? You guys live together. Why are you texting at all? Why didn't this kid immediately call? If they're in lockdown and he needs to go back and get his rifle, right? This kid could have, and I'm speaking about Lance, could have contacted immediately and said, I'm getting a confession right now. I don't like that we are not being told the exact timestamp of these messages because, my timeline demands it. To close loop on how this enters, again, not knowing when this happened, Robinson says, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says, grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo, and it's very unique.
Wait, do you see how, it's just Robinson. So he's just blowing him up. Delete this text. He says, delete this exchange. Who the fuck says delete this exchange and then continues to talk about something? Are you fucking kidding me? What? What kind of pills is this kid on? Delete this exchange. And then just shotguns. Shotguns. Look at delete this exchange. On top. My dad wants photos of the rifle. Delete this exchange. You're writing him. You're saying delete this exchange, like what? Like from all the stuff above? Or hey, delete this exchange, and now I'm going to write you this, and then hey, you're going to delete after I'm done shotgunning all this to you? Come on, man. Come on, man. What if this little Lance Twiggy Poo Poo made up all of this shit?
He's calling me right now, not answering. Robinson says, well, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson says, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors is here. He is a deputy for the sheriff. Robinson says, you are all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried. The roommate says, Lance says, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson says, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If
The
any
roommate
police
says one thing, and that one comment is, I'm much more worried about you. Out of all of that.
ask you questions, ask for a lawyer, and stay silent. How you guys feeling about that?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Mark is going to jump on and say something. Go ahead, Mark. Yeah, he's the guy that's always in my ear.
Not always. I just noticed that around some of these exchanges, there's ellipses above them.
You're breaking up a little bit. What'd you say?
Oh, ellipses.
Around some of these exchanges, there's ellipses above if you look really closely.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're cherry picking certain exchanges so that my dad is super MAGA just comes out of nowhere because they picked it from a totally different part of the conversation.
Yeah, these messages are clearly doctored, is what I would say. They're doctored. Now, they could decide why they're doing that. Tyler's being forthcoming. We're protecting him in some capacity. I find that to be unacceptable. Okay? Unacceptable. I want every single text message. I want timestamps. It is conspicuous that you are not telling us when this was sent because it sounds like it's when the campus is on lockdown and he's got to go back and got to clean up. And then all of a sudden we're in the next day when his dad is getting clued in after the picture has been released. They're not telling us that. Okay? And you have a right to be a little bit uncomfortable about that because I'm a lot of bit uncomfortable about that.
Yeah, there you go. Uncomfortable about it. I have a lot of uncomfortable about it all. And it just, you wouldn't do, like, this just doesn't vibe. But I just want to know where Tyler slept on September 10th. If he slept at home with his boyfriend, then it's fucking no way. No motherfucking way. And then why are you texting if, like, you live at home with your boyfriend? He says he's coming home. He'll be home soon. The boyfriend's not saying, like, where the hell are you? Are you coming home? Where are you? Does the boyfriend go straight to the cops and they're leaving that out? I have no idea. Do I think it's some big, huge conspiracy? No, I'm saying you have the right to ask questions. And this needs, why didn't they give the timestamps? What's up, Dr. Latina? It's just, you ask questions. And I don't believe in either sides. I don't believe that you go and attack the side. Like, this is all because of the right. This is all because of the left. No. Somebody killed a man. And don't be twisting it. Don't. Political agendas. Mm-mm. Dr. Latina. Thank you for covering this. Yeah, and this is so ridiculously sad. Like, all because you disagree with somebody. It's horrible.
We need full answers. Further to that point, I have found this strange from the beginning that for whatever reason, we're not hearing too much about this Lance guy other than, like, he's been extremely cooperative. He's handed over his messages. I'm not implying that Lance was involved. I am implying that it's weird that we're not hearing more about him, right? You're telling me he lived with the guy. You're telling me us now that he's been texting with the guy about his plans. They're in love. Is nobody interested in learning more about this character? Okay, so Tyler's people are saying Tyler's a good kid. People around Tyler, classmates, are telling me he's a good kid. So I go into our tips box and it turns out that actually Lance Twig's family has tried to reach out to me.
I couldn't believe this. I was like, holy shit. But it makes total sense that they would reach out. Okay. But I couldn't believe then his family's like, this isn't right. That this doesn't sit right with us. I'm like, wait, what? It doesn't sit right. Thank you, Silent G. 20 months, baby. 20 months. Then she just kicks it up to another gear.
For the weekend, obviously, I was in a very aggrieved state and I was not prepared to even accept that Charlie Kirk was not on this earth. Okay. And I realized that they're saying to me, like, we want to speak with you. And there's more than one family member that has reached out because we trust you and we don't trust the media. Good by me. They are, it sounds to me, a very good family. They're absolutely horrified by what has happened. And they are similarly perplexed by there not being more out there about the person he was living with, especially because what they told me, and I can tell you this exclusively, is that the house that Tyler Robinson was living in with Lance is owned by them. Tyler Robinson is paying rent to them. Okay. So they know Lance, obviously, and I'm going to cushion this with allegedly. It isn't allegedly that this is his family members telling me these details, but it is definitely, allegedly what they say until we can hear both sides. Okay. I'm going to pull this up because I took notes regarding Lance. I want to know everything. Okay. Lance, they told us, went to live with his relatives, so no longer.
So this is the only place I could find like stuff like this about, like, yeah, who's this boyfriend? This discord. Usually the media, mainstream media, is going and like hunting down people. Okay. No media was there to like shove microphones in Lance's face. Mainstream media.
In the house with his mother and father, again, allegedly, his parents kicked him out junior year of high school because he was problematic. He just had issues. And at that time when they kicked him out, that wasn't exactly what they are saying legal for them to have done that. But again, he went to live with relatives and he has issues. They say that he allegedly has a lot of issues with drinking. That Christmas, approximately 3 years ago, he almost overdosed. He drank a bottle of vodka. They are telling me that they were there. They were present for this. And fear began to spread about whether or not even the family would be able to take care of him because of issues that he was having. Okay, he graduates high school. And then essentially the extended family says, we can't keep you in our home because of his behavior. Just this past Easter Sunday, they are telling me that he showed up on drugs and he was spouting out of his mouth about political stuff. And at this point, they felt that he could not be around children, that they felt that he had become increasingly more radical, increasingly more dangerous, and just sort of off the rails. They said that they're unhappy.
Okay, so back in the day, guys, before we'd have to like be talking about radicalized, whatever, but when somebody would just show up drunk or high, it would just be that they're drunk or high, okay, or they're an addict, okay, and that would just be it. Now everything has gone to where we have to say all of this stuff, but it's now pertaining to the right or the left. Is you also have to say what they are. With I just never. When somebody would be shot, that's a political figure, and assassinated in public, right? Like that. I think it's a no-brainer that it would be for political reasons, right?
That the media is presenting him in this like manner, like he's just this kind of like soft guy, or like, a person that was just transitioning. There's like nothing problematic. There's no prodding. They don't buy the story. Okay. Lance's family is telling me that they are not buying the current story and that they feel that more people are involved.
Woo!
First and foremost, they say that a lot of information should be able to be discerned by his devices because he was, according to them, deep web. Okay. This is the person that is deep on the internet. They said that he was quite reclusive, that he was always on his devices, that he's always on the web, and that there should be more information that comes from there. Okay.
What do these kids do for jobs? Nobody has talked about, like, okay, Tyler, where did Tyler work? How do we not know that? Where did this kid work? Like, those are things that come out, like Brian Colbert, WSU, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, where did these people work? Please, are they not working? Does anybody know where Tyler worked? Does anybody know where this kid worked? How are they affording rent? How are they affording food? How are they affording their bills? He had a little plumbing job on the side. Where is that being reported? They were both unemployed, says Tammy, and rent was $1,800 a month. And what about car payments? The fuck? Tyler was in technical college. You know what I mean? Like, why isn't anybody talking about the fact that this is just logic to me? People have to eat. People have to pay their bills. Okay. How did these two loves afford to pay rent, to pay their bills? They're just deep in web. Candace said he worked with his family plumbing. Where she mentioned that right here? Wait, who? Which kid?
Turned 22. They told me back in August, and that he was, as I said, very into this dark web stuff. I asked what he was doing for work. Like, how are they even able to pay you guys rent? And they told me that he was doing some plumbing work with somebody else in the family. They told us that Tyler and him had been living together for at least a year. That they had not met Tyler, despite the fact that Lance had wanted to foster that meeting, that the two of them, this couple, Tyler and Lance, were living in that townhome that is owned by Lance's family, and that Tyler was paying rent to Lance. And Lance then, of course, was forwarding that payment to them. Now, I had asked them about...
What? Wait a second. They never met him?
Another persistent rumor that is arriving in my inbox, which people are saying who live in the neighborhood, that they noticed some unusual traffic. And this individual family member said to me, yup, we are hearing the exact same thing, that they would prod.
I heard the same thing.
That narrative further, but there was some unusual traffic, a lot of cars that were seen outside leading up to the shooting, in the days before the shooting or the week before the shooting. I'll straighten out that timeline for you and get real specific, because I will pin down when exactly this was happening. But leading up to the shooting, that there were unusual traffic in the driveway where Tyler Robinson and Lance lived. Cars that were not recognized in the neighborhood. This was not a couple that hosted people. It wasn't like they were expecting them to have parties. And so other people are saying that is something that struck them as odd. There was unusual traffic at this house in the weeks leading up to this shooting. And again, I will perfect that timeline of exactly when. And I have gone out to people for evidence of that. But there were apparently lots of different license plates, and therefore caused a little neighborhood, kerfluffle, because other people were not able.
Kerfluffle. I love that. Okay, so what do we think? So Lance had a side plumbing job. Tyler paid rent to Lance. The family has never met Tyler. And they've been dating for a year. That's a long time. And all of a sudden, when did Lance want to become a woman? Oh, I love it. Lana, my husband is obsessed with Candace Owens. This stream is the golden key to him seeing why I'm obsessed with you. You guys, come on, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So we're trying to make it make sense, because I want the logic behind. I want, like, you connect logical dots. Like, because I think people sit back, what you realize is like, holy shit, I didn't know my kid. I didn't know my friend. I didn't know my roommate. I didn't know, like, when you actually people start asking you questions and you realize that you can't answer it. Like, where would this person go grocery shopping? Did they both have cars? There's only one car? you know, like the logic. Remember Bentley in the driveway land? I thought it was a Bentley too. I literally was like, holy shit, is that a Bentley?
Able to park their cars because there's so many people that were at this house. Unusual traffic. Again, we are prodding that narrative.
Now, if it is from the now. I think somebody needs to ask the neighbor that says he was just riding his bike and acting like he doesn't really know that much. I think he knows more. I think he knows a shit ton more, and he didn't just pass by on his bike hearing some shit. Okay, I think the kid wanted to distance himself though. So people need to get back out and talk to whatever his name was that's over there talking about people holding hands and he's hearing doctor's appointments and shit like that. Unless somebody told him to say that, you know what I mean?
Are taking a look at everybody, because if I don't feel good about what we're hearing, okay, and Lance Twig's family doesn't feel good about what we're hearing, and we've got Decoy Boy, who's apparently involved in some deep internet stuff, I would say.
Decoy Boy. Lance has a new name and it's Decoy Boy. Damn. What is up, Hot Ham Radio? Where the fuck you been? Oh, just been pushing it. Just pushing my cart around all through Amazon. All we're doing here is asking questions. Just some questions. Basically, Lance's family is like, our kid was the troublemaker.
Fair way to describe it. Decoy Boy. Okay, Dord Zinn. There's more people involved. That's what I'm going to say to you guys. There is very clearly more people involved. Okay. This feels to me like a conspiracy. And am I emotionally invested in this? Yes. Somebody said something to, you're unstable. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I have been destabilized by watching Charlie Kirk catch a bullet in his neck and then being gaslit and told nothing to see here. We've got people all around him that are telling little lies. I don't like this. Okay. This doesn't feel clean to me. I need timestamps. If you're going to be transparent, be transparent.
Oh, fuck. I love it. Truth and transparency loves it when people say transparent, right? Decoy Boy, baby. What are you guys going to be this Halloween? Well, I'm going to go as Decoy Boy. You know? God. Candace said Candace is cussing. Candace is saying the God forbidden second word. This is a conspiracy.
Not saying that you're being dishonest, that you have these text messages. I am saying that I need them in my timeline. Okay. And it is just weird that you're giving exact times about certain things. And then suddenly you're like, you know what? We don't need to be so exact anymore. And we can just extrapolate what we need to tell the public a certain narrative. Okay. We, the public, don't need a narrative. We need every single plausible detail if we are ever going to regain any trust in the authorities.
Woohoo! That is all that matters. That's all we want. We want to be able to trust. We want to be able to trust the authorities. That is what everybody wants. Whether you have a lot of money, whether you are middle class, whether you are poor as fuck, you want trust. Whether you're in a relationship, you want trust. You want to trust when you go to the grocery store that the food isn't poisoned that you're going to fucking eat. Trust. Everything. The gas that I'm buying isn't going to blow up my car. Trust. Think about this. But I'm not going to fly Spirit anymore because I don't fucking trust those motherfuckers. They're always fucking with shit. Next thing I know, I'm paying $180 for bags when they fucking sold me my ticket for $80. Fuck you. I'm going to just go Southwest, $300. Get to bring all the bags I want. I'll put a human in there. Right? KFC, the famous bowl. I had to explain to my favorite woman from KFC. I said, hey, who has been cooking lately? Because whatever you're doing differently the past 2 weeks when I've come to get my famous bowl, one week, I said, I can't even do a live broadcast after I eat KFC in my mashed potato bowl because I may have the shits for 3 days. So I can no longer have this, but this never used to be a problem. So I don't trust you guys to make my food anymore. So I have to go to a different KFC. So I had to tell this woman that because she asked me where I've been. And I was like, oh, about that. I'll tell you where I've been. I've been going somewhere else because I can't trust your cooks. Everything is about trust. She started dying laughing. She's like, you're being serious, aren't you? I said, fuck yeah, I'm telling you the truth. This is why I haven't been here. Now you want me to go? I was like, no, I'm going to just go try Popeyes, or I just want some damn mashed potatoes. I love my mashed potatoes with my chicken or my steak. And what the fuck? But I really, really love the girl that's the drive-through girl. Like, she's cool as shit. She like knows who I am. She's like, man, I look forward to seeing you because I'll bullshit with her. Oh no, God. It's the fastest KFC too. You know, those fucking lines usually take forever. I was like, you just get people in and out. I was like, you might as well, you guys could battle with Chick-fil-A here. I was like, you need to get a raise. I'm telling you, you got to be selling more shit than anybody else because, you know, you're turning us over. She's laughing. And I was like, listen, I don't know who you got cooking back there, but it's different. And I'm going to need you to handle that, or I can't come back, or I'll come just back and get Cokes from you, Pepsis. A couple times I just went and got it, Pepsis. But anyways, trust, fucking trust. Trust. Babysitters, you don't have certain people babysit because you don't trust them. You know, everything is about trust. And here, the fucking government, God forbid we ask, wait, wow, you're going to put these text messages in here and you're not going to give timestamps and dates? Get the fuck out of here. That's really weird. And then the guy says, I don't have that. What? You are the... How do you not have that? How aren't you demanding that? Where are the police getting that from? Who did the extractions of these phones? Do you think that Tyler even had his phone still? Do you think that Tyler threw his phone? How do you even know what phones these are even coming off of? Did Tyler have two phones? You know, why? It's bizarre. It is. This exchange and texting is bizarre. And I'm gonna say it. I have no problem saying it. This is absolutely fucking stupid. Tyler is a dumb motherfucker. How the fuck did he get a 4.0? No wonder he had to leave college after the first semester. You are dumb as fuck. This is dumb. This is just, you are dumb. Charlie Kirk's thinking that, like, he's very intelligent, right? Freedom of speech. Hey, you don't like what he has to fucking say? And you should never agree with everything that anybody ever says in life. That's just kind of weird to me that, oh my God, everything we just see eye to eye with, someone's lying. You know, somebody is lying. Charlie's like, fuck, this dumb fuck. Dumb. Absolutely dumb. Like, there was no secrecy about any of that. And I'm telling you, it's just so weird that the boyfriend wouldn't have texted the Tyler, Lance, decoy boy, is not texting Tyler to say, holy shit, You were just talking about Charlie Kirk the other day and someone just fucking shot him. Do you know how many people came into my live? I was live. How many people came into my live and said, oh my God, Charlie Kirk has just been shot? I find that so interesting that boyfriend wouldn't text Tyler and say something, and that why is Tyler saying I'm sorry after he just killed a man? You're sorry? Why the fuck did you shoot him then? What are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense logically. And then people say to me, Lana, because these people aren't logical. How do people that aren't logical get 4.0s then? Explain that to me. And and wouldn't he be more cryptic? Yeah, why would you text? Period. And the boyfriend just being able to just hop to it and go check underneath the desk. Like, I'd be like, what are you talking about? Go look under your desk. He just goes like he knows. I'm saying if Bella was to text me and telling me to go look under my desk for something, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I wouldn't say, I wouldn't do this. No reply to what she just wrote me. I'd be like, I would have something to say to that. I wouldn't just hop to it, go do it, and then read it. I'd be taking pictures of what the fuck I had as well, because I would say, is this what you're talking about? What the fuck? But I'm going to tell you this. If it was me, I would, what do you mean? I'm not going to hop to anything. Like, I'd be busy. If you wrote me that, I'm busy all the time. I wouldn't be able to just be like, hold on. Oh my God. Oh my God. And just, woo! Like, hop to it. The fuck? Sorry. Here's me a day or two later. Wait, what did you want me to do? Wait, what did you need? Or I get a text message saying, Lana, did you go see that yet? Did you look at that? No. What are you talking about? You know, it's almost like he's having a conversation with himself. I don't know. That's what it feels like. It's almost like it's just so unbelievable. It's like he's talking to himself, man. I can't. I just.
Involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that he had received messages from Tyler Robinson about the shooting, and he provided those messages to police. And then it goes on, describing those messages. On September 10th, 2025. Oh, wait, they're not telling us the time. I don't like that. I hope that's just you forgot, but I need to know exactly.
I hope that's just you forgot. Yeah.
When you're saying these messages were sent, okay? Because I need to fit them into my timeline, okay? Clearly, on the basis of what I'm about to read, these messages had to have gone out after Charlie Kirk was shot. If I'm using my context clues, my Blues clues to put things together, but they're not clear here. They just say on September 10th, 2025, no time given. The roommate received a text message from Robinson, which said, quote, drop what you are doing and look under my keyboard. The roommate, Lance, then looks under his keyboard and he finds a note that states, quote, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. The structure, that is weird. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it. Okay. That's just structurally, that's not proper English. Okay. It's either I have, okay, or I had, past tense. Again, not clear. Police found a photograph of this note and the following text exchange then took place.
They found, so yeah. So he took a picture of it. Was it typed? Was it written? Whose handwriting is it in?
After reading that note, the roommate texts Tyler and he says, what?
What with 50 million question marks? You're joking, right?
You're joking, right? Robinson writes, I'm still okay, my love, but I am stuck in a REM for a little while longer yet.
A little while longer yet. That's how he talks. I would love to look at his past text messages and see if he writes the words longer yet.
Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep the secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. The roommate replies, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson replies, I am. I'm sorry. The roommate replies, I thought they caught the person. Robinson replies, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude that interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down.
That means that he's on the opposite side of town. But most of that side of town got locked down, which would imply that he's on the opposite side of town. But how did you get on the opposite side of town? Because every camera in the beginning said that you came from the north.
Quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle still lingering. The roommate says, why? Robinson says, why did I do it?
One vehicle still lingering. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. What does that even mean?
After, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle still lingering. The roommate says, why? Robinson says, why did I do it? Roommate says, yeah. Robinson says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. The roommate says, how long have you been planning this? Robinson says, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, referring to the rifle. But
okay, so something I think is interesting is when he's writing a bit over a week, he would have attempted to write something first, then deleted it because the A is lowercase. Same thing with the roommate with when Robinson says no comma. They grabbed some, he was attempting to write something else, then deleted it because it should start with a capital letter. Same thing with when the roommate writes, you weren't the one who did it, right? It should be a capital Y and it's a lowercase y. I have a problem with all of these when they start with lowercase letters because that means that you were attempting, because it does it auto caps it. Okay. And so that means that whatever was written first or attempted, it was deleted and then you're writing something else. So it's not, and you're doing that in the same stroke of that it's opened,
there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson says, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle.
Right here. A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car. Okay. Yeah. They're cherry picking because he's answering something that's not there. I better I believe I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. How would you know that? There's a squad car right by. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. What? None of this matters if Tyler slept at home on the 10th, meaning with his boyfriend.
Worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hopefully they don't find a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hopefully they don't find prints. How the F will I explain?
Okay, right there. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. You guys, that's not true. What do you mean he didn't have the time? What is he what are you fucking talking about? I worry about Prince. I had to leave it in a bush. Wait, is that what she says? He says?
I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hopefully they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. What? You're worried about explaining losing the rifle to your father. Not worried that you left the rifle and therefore it's obviously going to be found out. Like the only thing that you left was the murder weapon. This is weird. This change.
I think what's even the more weird for me is that he's saying that he didn't have time. What are you talking about? He was gone. He was out of there. The question is why did he leave the gun in that location? Why did he feel like he had to leave it? And he's saying in this whatever letter or text message, he's saying he left the gun because he didn't have time. What the fuck are you talking about? It's with you. What do you mean you didn't have time? Time for what? That doesn't make sense. Sorry. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. So you're going to sit here and tell me that he changed outfits literally in a bush? He changed outfits in a bush where he left the gun in a bush. The fuck? Can we do a shot? Because I can't. By the way, Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever tonight just beat the Atlanta Dream. So they did tie up the series at 1-1. Bella's going crazy over here. Okay, she's a huge Caitlin Clark fan. Like, oh my God, obsessed. Even though Caitlin Clark is not playing and has a groin injury, she's an Indiana fan for life now, I guess. Go Fever. I'm just going to change in this bush. Give me a second. I had to change in the bush. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I feel like this is all written after, and it's boyfriend getting lover. He's asking him all these questions so he can get it all out of him. Okay. But then you read this stuff and it's like it's in real time and it's ridiculous. And I'm over here like, I think it's interesting that they didn't talk about the DNA, meaning Charlie's or Tyler's was the only DNA that we found on the items. He didn't say that. He said he found his DNA on the items, but didn't say that that was the only DNA. And I'm still unclear why he didn't take the gun with him. Because according to Gray Hughes, he put the gun in his ass and put the book bag over his ass and was using the butt of the gun by his butt and something like that. And he had shorts on. He was so white. And he zooms in and he's like, I've never seen white fucking legs like this. He said, and I'm over here like, what? Where was the towel? He was only holding the backpack. Dude, when he fell to the ground, he picked something up. Okay, so he has the backpack on his back. So the only thing that was in his backpack was a towel, but the towel wasn't in the backpack when he jumped, right? So that backpack looked like it was a little bit puffier. And then people are talking about a screwdriver, right? Where's the screwdriver? So I changed in the bushes because I want to get out of the clothes that he was wearing, right? AKA. So let me get this straight. Listen to this part. So when he would have changed the clothes, that means because he discarded the clothes. He didn't put them in his book bag. Okay. Unless he discarded the book bag as well. But if you say he discarded the clothes all over the place in different areas, then when he changes himself, so he has the jeans on and he changes himself and gets naked and he puts his clothes on that he wants to get into, right? He doesn't put the clothes that he was wearing in the book bag. So that means he has his book bag on his back. He's like, I'm going to hold these clothes in my hands and I'm going to continue onto my vehicle holding these clothes. And I put the gun in a bush because I'm going to go back and grab the gun. What? Yeah. Yeah. If this is what 22-year-old relationships are like, 22-year-olds should not date. I'm just saying. Absolutely. Dumb and Dumber. Here we go. Fucking Jesus.
In a towel. What? You're worried about explaining losing the rifle to your father.
Yeah.
Not worried that you left the rifle and therefore it's obviously going to be found out. Like the only thing that you left was the murder weapon. This is weird. This chain is weird to me. It's weird to me that we don't know what time. I don't know what he means. Where is he stuck here, guys? Do you have a clue here? I'm stuck in a REM for a little while longer. It shouldn't be long until I can come home. Is that a typo? I should have asked you guys. Okay, that's the town.
That's the town. Is that a typo? I'm stuck in a REM. Like, what is Candace is so fucking heated. She didn't realize that that's the city.
Okay, that's the town. I'm stuck here for a little while longer. It shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. So is this happening during lockdown? He tells him to check under and to see, check under quickly and see. And I took care of it. And he's where? And now he's giving him an accounting of exactly what's taken place, which means if this is right after, and they're still in lockdown, he's what? Monitoring the situation?
He's
Because this is going to give us a timeline, whether they tell us when these messages happened or not. The fact that he already knows that they grabbed some crazy old dude and that they also interrogated someone in similar clothes.
This is just called logic right here, and I just love it. Yeah. Just run frantically with clothing in my hands, and it doesn't. I feel like his car was parked far, far away. His car was parked a significant distance away. Because he had to park it like not where other, like, and so I'm telling you though, Gray Hughes says that fucking gun, that he's saying that Tyler had on his shorts, his maroon shirt, and he had the gun, and it was in his back, tucked in his shorts, and all the way down, just almost not past his like his shorts, so you couldn't see it sticking out, and that he was using the backpack to like keep it there. And that he was still walking with some. I'm telling you guys, you guys gotta go see it. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Because he's over here saying that he was basically in the maroon shirt and the shorts beforehand and then after. Okay. So anytime that he was in the jeans and long sleeve shirt was, during. So
we're going to be able to go back and plot exactly when that happened, or at least when the public was informed, because this whole correspondence is very strange to me. It's very strange to me. He then is even more explicit, talk about trying to cover your tracks, but then explicitly texting everything to your lover. He says, the only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing...
Right? Like, remember how I was doing this? And then there's no response to say, oh my God, totally. It's like you were knitting all night. Like, do you remember when I was crocheting that blanket? What? Do you remember when I was engraving those bullets? It's like you're bringing him in on it. It's bizarre.
Messages are mostly a meme. If I see notices bulge on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks.
Why did he determine that he's going to have to leave it? What made him decide I'm going to have to leave it? All right, I'm going to have to leave it. Why? What came before that, do you think? What time did he determine that, all right, I'm going to have to leave it? When did the police find the gun? Anybody? Come on, timelines. What time did we find out that the police got the gun? Nobody knows.
Okay, so if this is our guy, oh, we're not done. Let's finish. That really sucks. He's got to leave it. And then he says, judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine. I think that was a $2,000 scope. And then he does a winky face. And then he tells him, delete this exchange. And then Robinson says, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says, Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. So his dad's calling him. Okay, well, the dad, this is interesting. When is this text chain?
Do you understand that he's at home when his dad's texting him this. So where is Lance? Is Lance at his part-time plumbing gig? Oh my God, that's another thing. Was Lance just plumbing it? Yeah, plumbing for apples, bobbing for apples, plumbing. And where was Lance after your boyfriend comes home and tells you that he just shot Charlie? You're like, you know what, tomorrow, baby, I cannot take care of you. I have to go plumbing. And then just is texting Twiggy Poo all of this, shotgunning this shit to him while he's plumbing. If they live in the same place, why would any of this be texting?
Taking place, okay? Because we just heard that, the dad, they figured it out the next day. They're making it sound like this all happened back to back. Is this happening over 2 days? Why not tell us this instantly so I can work it into my timeline? Okay, are these messages day one? And then what? They had no correspondence at all until he jumps right back.
Then the whole dot dots, where you see the dot dots, that means there's stuff in between. And so he's calling me right now, not answering, period. Then there's dot dots. So that means there's stuff in between that. That's how they're getting away with it. And then Robinson says, again, he had to have started something and then deleted it because here, not capitalized, since Trump got into office. And then the text is really like that. It says, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Why is my dad in parentheses like that? Since Trump got into office, has been pretty diehard MAGA. Why are they just adding shit? I guarantee you he didn't text him like that. And where is that even coming from? What does that have to do with anything? They just inserted these brackets. You guys, this is absolutely fucking crazy to me. I'm sorry, but either just let the material speak for itself and show the material as it is, or this, come on.
In and says, my dad's calling me. Where were you when your dad called you? You guys live together. Why are you texting at all? Why didn't this kid immediately call? If they're in lockdown and he needs to go back and get his rifle, right? This kid could have, I'm speaking about Lance, could have contacted immediately and said, I'm getting a confession right now. I don't like that we are not being told the exact timestamp of these messages because, my timeline demands it.
Anybody's timeline would demand it. Their timeline, the police, okay? And guess what, though? The police, they know the timestamps. And if they don't, he talks about what they took from the house, and he mentions the carvings of the bullets or whatever, there was stuff there. He doesn't mention a phone. He doesn't mention taking a computer. He doesn't mention taking the keyboard with see if there's tape that would have been underneath that the boyfriend probably just took off and didn't take it off perfectly. See if there's some tape under there. Shit, see if the kids see if there's some prints on there that are from the boyfriend, maybe some skin cells. These are deep web people. What the fuck is deep web people?
To close loop on how this enters, again, not knowing what has happened, Robinson says, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says, Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo, and it's very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Robinson says, well, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA.
See, right after he's like, he's not answering, they're leaving out everything that the boyfriend's saying about that. They're leaving all of that out. And I think they're leaving it out because I have no idea. They're leaving it out because what? It just doesn't matter? Nobody says delete this exchange and then continues on with the wild ass shit. And then I said to myself, yes, people do. Dumb motherfuckers. And if your dad is asking about the rifle, right? Wouldn't the normal response be like, why are you asking about that? There's no talk about the mom, right? That my mom called me. I told her I was sick yesterday. I told her I was sick today. He just mentions the dad.
Robinson says, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors is here. He is a deputy for the sheriff.
Okay. Okay. That's the other thing. Wait, this is wild. One of my neighbors is here. Okay. Well, so he's writing him while he's at his parents' house, right? Hey, I'm going to turn myself in because is he at his parents' house? So he's writing his lover that. So that would be like way later, right? I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is, one of my neighbors here. Like he's at his parents when he's making that text. And then again, he was about to write something, backs it up and says, you are all I worry about, love. And the roommate says, I'm much more worried about you. And then Robinson, don't talk to the media. But he was about to write something else because he backs it up. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. ... Like, if any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Okay. You're going to sit here and tell me that these two lovers didn't talk about this, I don't know, on September 10th together with each other? Who released this? The DA. Hello? We would have already talked about this, right? I feel like some weird shit's going to come out, guys. I have no idea what it is. Weird shit. Is there no timeline because these are from Discord? You know, Discord completely wiped their accounts and these chats after they announced their platform wasn't used for any. They're saying that they're text messages. That's how they're being. Police executed a search warrant on Robinson's residence. During that search, police discovered a shell casing that matched. Okay. Police also found several targets with bullet holes in Robinson's home, which is also the boyfriend's home. Awesome.
About this cruel act. It's not left or right. Again, this is about humanity. The silence speaks volumes. Now is the time to really step up and support the companies that are willing to be bold, because when they stand with us, they give us the courage to be fearless. And Nimi Skincare is one such company. They have always been unapologetic about their values. They love God, they love family, and they love country. Their products are made here in the USA, and they are committed to supporting the values of. I do not want to leave any evidence other than this very elaborate text chain that tells you my exact open and closed motive and why I did this, and that I acted alone, and that I was you are totally surprised by it. It feels a little fake and gay. I tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay. Name and thinking like, oh, Republican candidate by the delegates, and Eric Moutsos was the LEO and has dealt with Zinn in the past. That's an interesting tidbit. And I will look into all of those things. Mia writes, praying for your safety. We need truth, and I trust only you right now. Thank you. And especially, I want to say thank you to Lance's family, because I know this is not an easy time for you. And she was telling me, and he was telling me, Most people that I spoke to in that family were saying that they were receiving all sorts of phone calls from people that are just looking up their last name and thinking like, oh, you must support this or whatever. They're like, no, like our values, irrespective of politics, these are not our values. We are horrified by this. And remember that. Just remember that. Don't harass people unless you're certain that they would possibly agree with this. And they do not agree with this. And they want answers just as much as we do. Chips writes the text chain from Tyler to his boyfriend. No 22-year-old uses perfect grammar in a text chain, commas and periods. Something about that text chain is telling me we need a little bit more about that text chain. Stephen Carrington writes, may God and Jesus forever have your back. Thank you so much, Stephen. Bible with Bell writes, don't believe these texts for a second. He was worried about leaving evidence, then conveniently texts every detail. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I do not want to leave any evidence other than this very elaborate text chain that tells you my exact open and closed motive and why I did this and that I acted alone and that I was totally, you are totally surprised by it. It feels a little fake and gay. Gotta tell you guys, it feels a little fake and gay, and there will be
it feels a little fake and gay.
No fakeness and no gayness in this investigation. Nothing but truth. That's all I require from everybody. Mind Tricks writes, casings BS. Casings are BS. Okay. You guys got to just write the full word. Okay. I'm not good at slang. He was intending to retrieve the gun. Why would he write the messages? Text messages also looked fake. This whole thing is fishy. Nobody talks like that, especially after he murders someone. No way. Yeah. Even talking about, and this is why I inscribed this on the casings. Like,
yeah. And then why are you saying sorry? Why are you saying sorry? What the fuck are you talking about? He's not writing as an angry person. He's writing as like a I didn't do this. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Trying to get away with it, or are you not trying to get away with it? Because
are you trying to get away with this, or are you not trying to get away with this? Thank you. That is what I said right when this happened. I said, you know, is this person like, are they trying to get away with this, or do they not care if they get caught because they're taking out somebody that they think is, oh, I'm doing it for all these right reasons or whatever the fuck. Which, no, you're not, but what?
This is a conflict for me, and we're going to need a timeline.
Yes.
I need evidence of these text messages.
God.
Grooven with Christ writes, I believe the Catholic Church should honor Charlie Kirk's legacy of courage and unwavering truth by making him a saint. His sacrifice deserves eternal recognition. God bless you always, Candace. Well, the decision is not up to me, obviously. And what I do know is that irrespective, the response to this globally has been amazing. All of you guys, the tags that I'm seeing all over the world, the football players, the singers. I'm going to show you guys tomorrow, like Jamie Lee Curtis. She's on the left, right? And she was crying over this. Totally different politics. It's important to realize that this impacted people who have a soul, and they have removed us from our soul and have us warring with each other. Like, we are so in our minds warring about these ideas, not realizing they're poisoning us. And I mean that physically, but more importantly, spiritually. We are fighting real demons. And if you are on the left, you are not my enemy. If you've fallen for ideologies, I did too. Okay. I've come out on the other side. We have to now meet in the middle, and we need to look at the true evil that rules over us. Okay.
Meet in the middle, stay in the middle. All gays. They all know that really good. Meet in the middle, stay in the middle. It's very simple.
And I think that is a great place to stop. Oh, we've got two more comments here. Lucy writes, we love you, Candace. We have your back yesterday, today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you so much, Lucy, Marion. And Bayan writes, love you, Candace, from Saudi Arabia. Thank you. You are my spirit animal. God bless you. And
spirit animal. I heard that tonight. Amen. You guys, middle. Humanity. Our rights. You do not go and shoot people. Fuck. How did this Tyler kid pull the trigger? He seems a little like not capable. Being like a, I mean, like when you're in like a Discord with 20 people, like they say like people are empowered by numbers, like bullies are like with numbers and stuff like that. When you bully people, he's been around guns all his life, so the accuracy for me, but it just like did he immediately feel like remorse, right? What he did, like after he did it. It doesn't make sense. How do you get on the damn roof? They locked those doors. I've been thinking about it for about a week. So you've been around somebody for a week, and this kid just seems like he just spills his guts. Like he would never be able to keep a surprise for like a birthday gift or like a Christmas gift, right? So he's thinking about it for a week, but doesn't tell his boyfriend, his lover, about it and if he's thinking about it and he's looking into things, right? And where is your room? Where is this kid's room? Right? I mean, do they have like the same room? They're like, it's a 3-bedroom. So maybe they have like, here's our room together. And then you have that room. I have this room and this is our room together. Because like we treat it as like our offices and then like it's our room. So I don't know. But for a week, I guess people don't talk anymore because they're all doing like, fucking the web. I guess people don't go on dates and talk over like, I don't know, dinner. Like don't you think this kid would have been acting a little strange? Thinking about killing somebody, committing an assassination, that you'd have to ask little decoy boy here, hey, you didn't notice that your partner was acting a little strange? Hey, who's been over the house lately? I don't know. When I was out plumbing, I don't know, somebody that wears what is it, these furries? I have no fucking clue. They don't sound like, plumbers have to get like dirty and shit. Like, I don't know too many men that become girls. I don't know just too many girls in general that are plumbers. I've never met a woman plumber. Have you guys? So I find it hard that decoy boy is a plumber. It just doesn't seem like it'd be something that the decoy boy would be interested in if he thinks that he's a female, because not too many females are plumbers, right? I don't know. Just a lot of, Charlie just deserves the truth. He deserves to rest peacefully. His family deserves everything. His kids. I mean, I'm not a political person where I come out on my channel and I'm not a writer. I'm not a lefter. I look at people that are extreme on both sides and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Pretty much. Just like kind of how I look at true crime, there's bad apples everywhere. It's because it's the person, the human committed that act, and these labels. Then who even makes the labels? You know what I mean? They're half the problem too. A furry plumber. But go through your YouTube feed and listen to people that you never listen to, just to hear what is being said. Do what Chase recommended to do. And see who's out there spreading shit, and ask yourself, Why? All we're doing is questioning what was presented to the public, right? That's all you're ever going to see on this channel is questioning stuff that's presented to the public. Or if I was able to go get something and then I present it, hey, this is where it came from. But as Americans, we're allowed to ask questions. As Americans, we're allowed, freedom of speech, ask questions. Because that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go ahead and say, what the fuck? Oh my God, what the fuck? And I think you'll just get a really good eye for what people's agendas are. Because basically what the story and narrative is right now is that this kid, Tyler, grew up in a great family who went on vacations, took family portraits, cared and loved each other, went to school, got straight A's, got a scholarship, got the presidential scholarship to go to Utah. Only goes for a semester. The mother is so proud of her kids. The dad's hardworking. The mom's hardworking. They have a beautiful home, right? Tyler supposedly says that his dad supports the Trump movement. Tyler gets his scholarship, but he leaves after a semester, which is very interesting because then you look at Charlie, and what Charlie's been saying is that colleges are, fucking kids up. But then here's a kid that drops out of college who is like, it's almost like Tyler is like almost like agreeing with Charlie because he left, college after a semester. The question I want to know is why did he leave? He's been all about school, all about, straight A's. Like I'm sure he had like some type of a goal. Like, what did you want to become when you were older? Like, what do you want to be? And in order for you to, become what you want to be, like, is it, I don't know, if you want to be a lawyer, you're going, you can't become a lawyer and not go to law school, right? I mean, I guess you can go take the bar in some states. Doctor, whatever, engineer. Okay. What changed in one semester? One semester, you guys know that that's like what? How many weeks? 9 weeks? Is it 9 weeks? Is it, how many weeks is it? Like he basically didn't go back after Christmas break, why? And then there's this gap of like 3 or 4 years until we get to the point that he then starts dating this kid, Decoy Boy, a year prior to now. Okay. And well, when did Tyler does Tyler associate as being gay? Because I've always wondered this. If you're gay, that means like you are a man or a woman and you like the same sex. But here, Tyler is dating somebody a year ago, this guy, and then all of a sudden he decides, when did he decide that, okay, I'm a guy, but I'm really a girl? And so is Tyler say to himself, well, I don't really put labels on that, so I just happen to fall in love with who I fell in love with, and that's how he explains it to his family? Or is he one of those kids that like identifies as like, I am fucking gay, did that happen within that one semester? Did his family always know that he was gay because he was gay in high school? Did his family accept him for who, he was and wanted to be? His family just had went on a vacation a couple months before this, and his family all went together, right? And so clearly, if he's going on a vacation with his family just a couple months before this, like I would think that he's on good terms with his family to go on vacation with him. Did his family ever meet Decoy Boy? He said that I think his family said something about it. This all changed like a year within like the past year. Well, that's interesting because that's when he started dating. Decoy Boy was a year. The family said that the father and the son's political views didn't align. Well, did they always not align? Did that, was it always like that? Did the kid get in trouble at school and that's why he was out? Did he not keep the grades up so he was going to lose the scholarship? I don't know. I don't know any of these questions, but these to me are the questions that would be asked that you'd want to find out. Because it's like, how does a kid, I couldn't imagine the family. Like every day, you're like, what did we do wrong? We didn't, like, how does our kid go and do something like this? Like, what did I do wrong? And that sucks for the parents because I don't think that they did anything wrong. Unless they're going to be honest and come out and say that they did something to this kid, but I don't know. It's sad. But I think making up stuff that's not true on why he did it, that's not the answer either. And running with narratives that truly aren't the narratives, just to say, oh, chalk it up as, yep, look at this is what it was. I don't know why people want to do that. And it just seems like it's for political reasons. And the more and more I look into cases and truly see where the power lies with cases, it's like the Brian Kohlberger case to me right now. I feel like it could never go to trial because of something way bigger than we will ever know, because we cannot let the FBI have a bad mark. And so, I don't know. All right, y'all. Because people are bigots, Lana. Well, people suck that are like that. But don't they show themselves and to the world? And you're just like, that's, I always try to listen to people and not judge them. They stop telling you stuff. Yeah. How was Charlie hurting Tyler? What did he think shooting him was going to accomplish? Tyler, you are nobody. I guess now you are, right? Now everybody knows who the fuck you are. But how was Tyler's life being affected by Charlie Kirk? Have a good night, guys. Peace out. Much love. Much love to the members. Much love to the subscribers and motherfucking moderators, baby. Keep on being beautiful. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Great chat tonight. Great chat. See you on the